in short. Yes.
And any movement that a person makes to love another is performed with the reflected light and some reward that will eventually return to him and serve him for his own good.
All our actions, even our seemingly good actions for others, we do because we receive profit. This is the goal, and you can't do it in any other way. This is nature. This is clear up to here, right? Zvika, if you won't ask, the French women will talk to me that I depress you.
It's interesting to see how they look like. Well, we're reading here.
Sometimes he blushes, you see?
It reminds me of old times. He says that there's no difference whether one works for the love of friend or the love of the Creator. Now we're talking about the connection between friends. We don't separate it into two parts. So how can I love the Creator or love a friend? There are two parts here, as it says here, the mitzvah between man and the Creator and mitzvah between man and man. So what do we learn from this?
It's because the Creator is concealed and He's presenting Himself to us in the world He created. And if I arrange myself with respect to this world, that I am with everyone with love, truly, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, they hate me, they love me, I have to transform everyone into loved ones. And then I come to the Creator with the right and corrected relation. Meaning He can't by Himself, in Himself, present Himself in different manners with respect to you. It's impossible that in such a height, such a magnitude of this absolute force, He can, from so far above, He can give you different examples how you should change in order to resemble Him and this or in that. He can't. So He diminished Himself and brought Himself to a form which is this world. What you see as the world is the presentation, the appearance of the Creator in a way that you can understand, you can feel, and start working with. Now it's before you. Go ahead, start treating the whole world, the still, vegetative, animate, and speaking, in a way you would have treated the Creator. And you have these laws, so you're allowed to receive only essential things for your existence, necessaries. All things you have to guard. You need not touch anything from the still, vegetative, and animate. It is given to you in order to revive yourself, in order so you can live in order to work in a higher degree, from the still, vegetative, and still to the vegetative, vegetative to the animate, and the animate towards the Creator, in order to discover in each detail in this world the upper force that dwells in it. And then you, instead of matter, you gradually... Amnon, do you hear this? That's good. And then, instead of matter, you start seeing within the matter that it's the Creator, it's the force, His force. You start feeling that it's His appearance. The still and also the vegetative, the animate and the speaking, they are all connected to you. They start speaking to you from the inside. It's the spirit in them. You start perceiving them. You start relating to them and not to the external wrapping that you used to think is all there is. You used to look at their external wrapping or enveloping, and you used to treat it as the world. The moment you start penetrating inside, starting to speak to them, the still, vegetative, animate, and humans, their internality, you start attaining the Creator. Yes?
I need to understand what you mean by saying that you have to talk to the internality of the still, animate, vegetative, and animate.
the force that you relate to.
How do I talk to them?
If you start treating to them above your ego, you start discovering the upper force that created them and sustaining them, which is in them.
I don't understand what you mean that I have to listen to them, to the still, vegetative, and animate. It's not on my level. I'm not still vegetative and animate, or I have it also.
Of course there is. Of course you have it.
Meaning, I have to understand it. I don't.
These are degrees of the desire that you discover still, that doesn't change as it was given to you, the vegetative that you start working with in order to attain the internality which is in everything in this whole world before you. Animate, that you start moving, having some active movements, and speaking, that you start attaining the essence in this force. These are the 4 degrees of attaining the Creator, and it comes through this world. Now, in order for you to have the opportunity to be included in this, you're correct that why should I work with a still vegetative and animate? All they do is aid me, support me, for me to attain this. Okay, they sustain me. I can sustain myself by them. But I myself exist in this still vegetative and animate, but this level of speaking in me, how do I develop it? This is why the group is given to you. The Creator brings you to this place and He tells you, start working with them, you will discover me. Yes.
And then He complicates me even more.
There's no confusion here. I don't agree to
Here
that.
it's clear more or less, but He begins to complicate us by giving us something like this, because it's a natural law that everyone outside of his own body is unrealistic and empty.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't understand a single word.
I'll tell you. You think that you see me? You don't know me. Not that you don't know me, one day you will. Rather, you can't acknowledge, you can't perceive me, because you see something with your mind, with your awareness, cognition. And how can you know that this is what you see? Outside of you, there is a force that depicts the world to you. Outside of us, there is a force. You can go to the scientists, they'll tell you that what we see in the inside, we see. That's the way it is in our mind, in our brains. But does it exist outside of us? Not at all. Soon you'll have glasses, you'll have different electrodes. You'll see the world as
So outside of us, there is a force. Yesterday you taught us something else.
outside of us, there is only the upper force.
And what is that upper force?
I don't know what it is.
His essence?
You can call it his essence.
Yesterday we learned not to relate. There is nothing outside of us.
We're not relating to that. We're only relating to what's inside
So
us.
now you said that we do have to relate to something outside of us.
No, there's nothing to relate to. I don't know.
You just said that we have to relate to what is outside of us. It's written here. I don't know how to figure it out. Can you...
Ask it again.
He's saying that everything which is outside his own body, and yesterday we know that there's nothing outside of our own body.
Forget about yesterday. Why are you carrying your yesterday's mistake to
So
today?
everything outside one's own body is regarded as unreal and empty. What does
Yes.
it mean? And then he says, an aim movement that a person makes to love another is performed with a reflected light and some reward that will eventually return to him and serve him for his own good. What does he mean by that?
That a person is constructed in such a way that all he does is for his own good. That's how he's programmed, like a computer. You inserted the software into it, that's how it works. Even more so. It has some block, a part of it, and it's a software that if he performs the software correctly, this block receives an addition. Let's say its battery is charged. He feels the benefit. That's it. This means he works for himself. fills up his batteries.
He says that everything outside his own body is empty and unrealistic.
Because if I'm working not for my own good, I'm not filling myself up. I feel emptiness in this action, that I can't perform it. For me, it doesn't attract me. I'll never think about it. Empty. Null. Not there. Tell me to go to bestow to someone. I'm unable. Maybe I'll do it if I fear you that you'll beat me up if I don't do this, or maybe I'll bestow to him and I'll receive some gain from him. Either I run away from the sufferings, or I come to the pleasure. It's one of the two. But I must have a profit from one of them. Both are called a profit. Without this, I can't do anything, because I'm constructed of the will to receive, and I can do no action if this will to receive doesn't receive energy for the action. Energy is profit, gain. Now, we stay at that. You cannot change that. That's creation. However, we change the quality of our action. What is our profit in our action? My profit can be either I'm important, then where's my profit? Or at least not losing anything. That's also, I've gained something, I suffer less. Or there is someone above me, before me. Who is above me? Is there anyone except me? Only the Creator. Then I must reach a state that He will be more important than me. Had He changed my software to a different one, then He would invert me to be an angel, so that I now work with the software of bestowal. No problem. The problem is I should reach His awareness, His consciousness. So I need, with all my software of the will to receive, to construct, to program myself, by myself, with the light, by the light, which is a force, but to program myself to be the bestower, the giver, as He is. Meaning I study from His actions. From your deeds we shall know you. I study from Him what He does to me, and accordingly I correct myself. Meaning I am constructing, building this program on a program. I have a program of the will to receive, and on it I construct a program of will to bestow. And this is called receiving in order to bestow. At the time I am constructing this, assembling this program of bestowal, I'm restricting the will to the program to receive, meaning I use it because I have nothing else to use, but I use it only not to have that count with it, rather only to acquire the software to bestow. I'm filling up with this software of bestowing. This means I'm acquiring the levels of Bina, Malchut rising to Bina. Later on, I lower back the Malchut with the Bina back to Malchut, and then in this descent, I start working more and more. At the time of the descent, I work more and more with the will to receive in order to bestow. Thus, I acquired the software of the Creator. That's it. But everything is possible under the condition that He is important to me. And where is He important from? From the fact I have the surrounding that tells me He is important. He's the most important.
You